Tyrese Haliburton and the Pacers are one game away from being in the NBA Finals. Sorry we haven't gotten a lot of the game reviews. I've been keeping up, of course, but I'm trying to work on something new that we're gonna do on this channel on 2K. And I'm trying to set that up, and I haven't done any videos. But I mean, Tyrese Haliburton, we could talk about his performance all we want. The final numbers are 32, 12 rebounds, 15 assists, and 4 steals, 0 turnovers, super efficient from the field. And the Pacers do it again. They're one game away. Um Obviously the thing that like the Pacers are known for is they don't turn the ball over. Um they had 11 turnovers this game, Knicks had 17, but in the regular season they had the third best turnovers. Like the Thunder and the Celtics were pretty much almost tied for first, but then in that third place is Indiana, tied with Cleveland and some other teams for per game. And then if you look at totals, they were tied with the Cavs for third, and then the Knicks were close behind. So I guess the Knicks aren't that bad at the turnovers either, but the personnel, then that the Knicks have turned the ball over way more. Again, those are just regular season stats, but um, the Knicks are done. I mean, say what you want. I think the Knicks are done. They could win another game. They could even win 2 games. They could force a game 7. They're not winning this series. I just don't see it. Tibbs has started to play some guys on the bench like DeLon Wright, Landry Shamet, Precious Achua got even a little bit today, but let's be honest, we know he doesn't want to play them, but he has to. You can't run a 5-man lineup. They've done the Mitchell Robinson starting with Cat thing the past couple games. But like these like so Josh Hart's been coming off the bench, but what made the Knicks last year so great is because while they didn't have Randall for a lot of the season, like when they had if they had the lineup of when OG, Randall, Mitchell Robinson were hurt, they had DiVincenzo, they had Josh Hart, they had Isaiah Hartenstein who come in and could just come in and be those guys and fill the role perfectly. And they played a lot of minutes even last year once those guys were out, but that was part of what made that team last year be an exciting team. They're still an exciting team, but like they just don't have those personnel off the bench anymore because they're either starting or they're not on the team anymore. In Hartenstein and DiVincenzo. Um, like DeLon Wright double dribbled in a game. When was the last time you saw an NBA player double dribble? Like, sure, players travel because they think they can get away with one more step, or they don't even realize that they're taking one more step than they should. But he double dribbled, so that's not great. And then, like, I think the idea of having it, like DeLon Wright, the idea is amazing, especially for this team. You would love it, but if you're looking at this bench and Landry Shamet 11 minutes, Delon Wright 9 minutes, McBride 15 minutes. Those guys, all they gave you 1 3. They each made 1 3. That's not gonna do anything for you. Um I wonder if I can see. So players off the bench. So Josh Hart technically came off the bench 15, 18, 21. 21 of their 121 points came from off the bench, while the Pacers had Benedict Mathurin in 12 minutes had 20 points, so he almost outdid it himself, but they had 20, 25, 31, 34, 36 points out of their 130. So it's not too different, I guess, but when you look at like they're not just scoring. That's the thing, right? Tony Bradley's in there to try and fight off Mitchell Robinson. Ben Shepherd's there to try and do a good job on Brunson. Obi Toppin had 2 steals, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Again, Benedict Mathurin had 20 points in 12 minutes. In a quarter's worth of time, he dropped a 20 bomb on the Knicks, man. And Benedict Mathurin isn't even on the top 4 players that the Knicks need to worry about. And that's what makes the Pacers team so good is because they can have someone come in and just do that. But so yeah, I mean the depth we know we've talked about it all year long. I can't wait to see what Worlds has to say on our episode that's coming out later this week. But it doesn't help as well that the Pacers love to play fast, and the Knicks their whole they want to slow the ball pace down. They want to get the ball to Brunson, have him either develop a good shot or he'll kick it out to somebody with a few seconds left, which I understand why some people don't like that in his game either because he holds the ball for 70% of the shot clock sometimes, but like that they want to slow the game down. And when you score, like the Knicks will score and then the Pacers will still beat them down the floor like they just gave up a fast break. But no, OG just scored a layup, but Tyrese Haliburton or TJ McConnell is already at half court as like a second after they pass the ball in because the Knicks are just sleeping on defense. And again, that's not something that they're going to be able to they're not going to be able to stop. I mean, Cat looked sluggish in the second quarter. I know in the first early in the game he kind of got his knee banged up or a little or whatever, and then he got his knee like the last couple minutes of the game they hit the same knee again, but in the second quarter, I don't know. I don't know what you do about that because again, I understand that it's not like the Knicks have like 3 or 4 gems off the bench and Tibbs just isn't choosing to play them. He legitimately doesn't have players he trusts to be in the game. And that's part of it. So this team needs to make changes. Again, probably sound like a broken record, but they no matter how their postseason ends, whether they come back down 3-1 and they beat whoever in the NBA finals and they somehow win the finals, or they get eliminated tomorrow in game 5, they need to address that situation because they're not going to be able to do anything without it. And if they do again somehow win the NBA finals after all this, they still should and need to address it. But this was a game of runs for sure. Like I mean, there was a graphic in the that they showed on TNT. Let me see if I can find it. I think this was still the first half. Like the Pacers went on a 14-3 run. Then the Knicks went on a 9-2. Then the Pacers went on a 14-6. Then the Knicks went on a 16-6. And then the Pacers opened up the third with like a 13-0 run. But watching this game again, it looks like the Pacers are giving up the lead more than it is the Knicks gaining the lead. And I don't know if that makes sense, but it's not the Knicks that are getting the lead. It's because the Pacers were taking, Haliburton went cold around the middle of the game. They weren't taking the greatest shot. So it felt like the fact that the Knicks were getting a lead is not because of what the Knicks were doing, but it's because of what the Pacers weren't doing, if that makes sense. Um, Again, the Knicks could have won this game. They could whatever. Like this wasn't a 45-point blowout. They lost by I think 9. Yes, they lost by 9 points, and it was close at the end, but they had to do some free throws. But this team is just the Pacers are taking advantage of a team that doesn't want to run and doesn't want to do everything. And their players, dirty work players, Andrew Nemhard, Neesmith, Obi Toppin, TJ McConnell, Ben Shepherd. Like they just do again. Some of those guys are not the greatest names. TJ McConnell, Ben Shepherd, they're not necessarily great players or even good players sometimes, but they're doing what the Pacers need them to do. And that's Ben Shepherd. You're going to get a couple possessions where you're switched onto Jalen Brunson. And you see Neesmith trying to say, oh, hey, this is what you do with Brunson. This is how you whatever, because Neesmith's done a pretty all right job on him. So, last thing about Actually, two more things about the Knicks. That was like, yikes. Miles Turner, I thought, did a pretty good job on Carl Anthony Towns during this game. Cat ended up with 24 and 12. He only shot two threes. Got to the free throw line a little bit, but I thought he did a good job. Um, he had three blocks this game, and at least two of those were on Cat. Cat got in his feelings at the end of the game, man, and we know that's a thing that Cat does. There were a few times where Cat just fouled because he was getting upset, or because like it was just a foul they didn't need, and he's doing it, and it's like, what are you doing? Like they're getting in his head, and it's not a pretty sight when, if Carl Anthony Towns is checked out of the game like that. Obviously not checked out literally, but like if he's mentally not there, you're done. He's your second best player, and he's a big part of your team when you only have six players you like to play consistently. So the Knicks are so lucky they haven't had injury problems like they did last year. Because God forbid, like two of their players went, like Mikal, Josh Hart, like these guys haven't had to miss games. Obviously Mikal doesn't miss games. So like OG, Josh Hart, Cat, like the fact that they haven't had to miss games is why they're still here. Is God forbid Carl Anthony Towns gets hurt for 2 or 3 games, and then OG's out for 2 games as well. They're done. What are they doing? They're not going to be able to do anything because, sure, Mitchell Robinson, we'll talk about Mitchell Robinson in a little bit, but sure, okay, Mitchell Robinson can start for Cat, which he started alongside on the past couple games, but Landry Shamet starting? Like, what are you doing? You're not going to, so I don't know. They got to address the depth. And then last thing about the Knicks, Mikal Bridges might have the top 5 worst shot selections in the league of like players that play significant minutes. He took 3 fadeaway threes from the corners with under 2 minutes left and all within 35 seconds of each other. He shot a 3 in the right corner. I think the ball went out of bounds. They got to check the ball in again. He took a fading 3 from the left corner, literally 2 seconds afterwards. And then I think maybe the Pacers went on. They had a possession. And then Mikal Bridges comes back down, shoots a fading 3 from the left corner again for his third 3. Again, all within like 40 seconds of each other. And I don't know why he is doing that, because his jump shot is one of the worst looking in the league. And he's had some good games of scoring from the mid range and where he gets confident, but Mikal Bridges, you are not Stephen Curry. You are not Kevin Durant. You are not like those shots when you are down by 7 points and you're taking a fadeaway 3 as maybe the third or fourth best offensive, player on your team. That like those just aren't things that the Knicks needed. And I was blown away when he took 2. And then I saw the third one loading up like that he was about to do it. And I literally like got out of my seat and I was like, why you just took 2 of those and you bricked on the side of the rim both times, and then you're going to take a third one when, again, not what you needed. Take a standstill 3 or find someone else to take a 3. You don't need to take the shot with 18 seconds in the shot clock or however long is in the shot clock. If there's 3 seconds left and you got to beat the buzzer, then sure, but there was not 3 possessions in a row where he had to do that. I don't even think there was 1, but there was not 3. I promise you that. But nonetheless, I mean, again, Brunson sometimes holds the ball too long, but I mean, 31 points. He got to the free throw line a lot this game, not a lot, 12 times. He got there about what he's been getting. OG had a little stretch in I think the start of the 4th where he gave them a few buckets, but it just, again, only a few. I mean, he ended up with 22, but 3 steals, 2 blocks, all around. I mean, it looks like a good game if you just box score watching. I guess Mikal Bridges is those shots I were talking about, those threes, not all of them were threes because he only missed one, it says in the final box score. So maybe they were long twos, but still not what you needed. And they were definitely a few of them intended to be threes. So um maybe his foot was on the line or something. But I mean Mitchell Robinson been big time these whole playoffs, like we know. There was a part that third quarter, he was getting on the glass and he was on the offensive glass and he was doing his thing, whether it was putting it back up for a dunk or kicking it out. And that's a big time for this team. Again, as a team that, doesn't really like, they have good rebounding, but that's big to get those second chance opportunities on a team that wants to get that rebound and outlet it. So I guess that was a good thing for them, but I don't know. I think this series is done. I honestly think I don't know. We'll preview the finals when we get there. I don't want to do any of this just because both OKC and Indiana are up 3-1, but looks like we might have our finals matchup. Um, OKC plays tonight. Minnesota. We'll see if they close it out. I believe it's back in Oklahoma for this game, so we'll see how they do. But Knicks have questions to that they need to fill out for next year. But great win by the Pacers. Probably a top three team, top three Pacer team of all time if they make the finals, right? Like, I don't know too much about the Reggie Miller times. I know that they made it to the. I think they. I don't know how many times he made it to the finals. Um, and then obviously Paul George gave LeBron a good run for his money in 2013, 2014, maybe somewhere around that time. But then, I mean, you make the finals, you gotta be, uh, you're doing something right, and their Pacers are doing a lot right. And Tyrese Haliburton, again, when he is confident and he is taking the shots that he should, which again he doesn't always do, um, he's elite. He's elite. If he gets to like next season, he comes in and he never has any of those games where he's shooting 7 shots and he's 2 for 7 because he wasn't making them, so he's just not gonna shoot. But if he gets to the point where he is consistently taking, like 18, 20 shots a game, he's gonna start entering some conversations in the league that I don't think anybody was prepared for Mr. Overrated, most overrated in the league. So I don't know. Great game by Tyrese Haliburton. Again, a 30-point triple double, no turnovers is um nothing to look over. So great game by the Pacers, and we'll see if the Knicks have anything left in the tank for them.